Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a little bit different format than most days. Today is just a story about something that happened to me while I was traveling in Colombia. Now you can probably already guess what it's about because I've kind of given it away in the title and the thumbnail, but here we go anyways. Let's jump into this story. So this happened about 3 weeks ago, just after my birthday, and this was before there was any cases of COVID in South America. Maybe one or two popping up, but it was pretty chill at this point. So we were in Cartagena and we decided we wanted to get up on top of one of the roofs in the area. Because if you look at this drone footage here, it's actually pretty amazing skyline. Peninsula on the water. Cartagena is pretty beautiful. So Mike and I wanted to get up on one of these buildings, and I thought that one of the rundown buildings that hadn't been finished would be the easiest way or easiest one to get up. So here's the building we actually got up on right here. You can see in this drone shot. That's the building we decided would be good. So we took a taxi there. We kind of pointed our way out to the taxi driver, made it there. We arrived to the building, and there was basically a 12-foot solid metal, not even fence. It was just, you couldn't see through it. Just full metal sheeting, 12 foot all the way around the building, and pretty much impossible to get into this place. So we were circumnavigating this building, and we're trying to figure out a way to get in. And we didn't want to, break anything, because that would be considered breaking and entering, and that would be, that levels up from just a fine of trespassing. So we really didn't want to do that. So we made it back to the entrance of the building where the workers come in and out Monday to Friday. This was Saturday, so there's no workers there. And just before we're gonna leave, I just took a look at the door, and I slid my hand through the tiny little crack, and I saw that there was no lock on the inside. So I just slid open the latch, and sure enough, it was open, and we walked right in. Closed the door behind me, put the latch back, and we started going up the stairs. And as we were walking up the stairs, we heard a voice yelling, but I couldn't tell whether or not it was a security guard voice or it was just the noise on the street, because it was very noisy in the street, and I couldn't differentiate the difference between the two voices. I thought for a second maybe it was a security guard. If not, whatever. We just kept going. So for the next 20 minutes or so, we scaled the building. It was maybe 40 floors, made it all the way to the top. And we had a blast up there. We had like maybe 45 minutes up there. I took out the 360 camera, the GoPro. I didn't fly the drone because Cartagena is notoriously very windy, and it was probably like 18 to 20 knots, so I didn't want to risk that. Anyways, we enjoyed our time up there. The sun went all the way down. The lights came up in the city, and we decided, let's head back. But the sun is down, time to go back. Get out of here. And it was a success. We had a fantastic time, and we were stoked. We were on our way down, our spirits were high, and we're like, I can't believe we got in here. All it was an open door. So we got to the bottom, we were walking out, and I saw someone, and I was like, shoot, this is a security guard. He's here, he's waiting for us. And we took off towards another entrance. And just as we started walking towards another entrance, 2 cops came out, pistols in hand, coming towards us, and Mike and I are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Estamos solo fotografías. And I honestly, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. I could be saying, I am a photograph. I mean, fotografía, is that the female version? Is that the feminine version of the noun? I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm just basically trying to portray that I am a stupid tourist, a stupid photographer in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to give them as much sense of control, because I clearly knew that they were panicking, that when we were up there for like an hour or so, and they were waiting at the bottom, and I can only imagine what was going through their heads. They prepared for the worst, had guns out ready for when we came down the stairs, and as we came towards, I was like, whoa, 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 freaking out. We were still locked in this compound of 12-foot walls, not see through. It was dark. They could basically do whatever they want. So they sat us down on the bench. At that point, they put the guns away, and that I felt very relieved, to say the least. They took our bags off us, and they just stripped everything out of our bags. Went through everything. They're asking, do you guys have drugs? This is all in Spanish, so we're translating back and forth on our phones. And we're like, no drugs. They're going through our cameras. What is this? They got my 360 camera and was like, what are you doing with this? Are you filming inside the building? He went through everything, but weirdly didn't see my drone. I don't know how that's possible. It was in a case, and it was on the top. He just kept bypassing it for some reason. I was super nervous he was going to find my drone, because everybody hates drones, the cops even more, and I don't even know if we're supposed to be flying it in this area. Whatever, I just didn't want him to find it. Luckily, he bypassed it for some weird reason. Mike was talking to the younger cop. I was talking to the older cop. We're translating back and forth, and at one point, I'm kind of showing him my phone like this, and he, let me just stand up, he would be over here, over my shoulder looking at it, and I noticed he was kind of swaying back and forth. And I'm like, what? I was like, shoot, this guy's drunk. The lead cop in the situation, there was him and the subordinate cop, the younger one. The main cop was drunk. And at that point, I was taking too long to type, and he's like, oh, hold on. He's like, I need to go pee. So he goes around the corner, and he actually goes pee. I'm like, well, that confirms it. So they're like, okay, we're taking you into the station. They pulled the cuffs, and we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 we don't want to go to the station. We're like, let's negotiate a deal. So they're like, okay, type into the phone. They're like, $600 US. We're like, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. So I'm like, well, let's see what I have. And I have a bunch of US cash in my bag where I use for visas to get into different countries. So I was like, I have some cash with me, luckily. And at this point, when I'm going through my cash, Mike has started to feel comfortable that we're negotiating a bribe, and decides that he's gonna document some of this experience because maybe it'll be funny for later. Maybe he's getting a little too comfortable, but anyways, he pulls out his phone and starts to film like this, which the cops immediately saw, and of course went, what are you doing? Are you trying to, like, clearly in their minds, they're like, you're trying to bust us for some sort of bribing activity here. And they freaked out, pulled the cuffs back out and said, arms behind your back, we're going straight to the station, you're under arrest. I'm like, oh no. How can I get this cop to feel like he's in control of the situation again? I grabbed Mike's phone and I showed him, like, no video. We immediately deleted it. So luckily they felt in control again, and we started getting cash out. And I was like, okay, I found like $450 maybe. And then after that second time they were gonna cuff us, they were all upset. So I had more Colombian pesos in my pocket, so I pulled those out. Might have been another $100. Mike had maybe another $100. So we pass off this cash, and they're like, okay, get the hell out of here. Like, we're done with you. So we zip up our bag, we like pack everything up, we're like, let's get out of here. They open up the gate for us to go. They sneak us out and they close the gate behind us. They stayed in the compound. So I'm like, clearly they don't want to be seen. But we are like, as we're speed walking away, like, oh my goodness, get me the heck out of here. We're so rattled. Heart rates are high. It's like first time I've ever had a gun pointed at me. So we're like scooting out of here. We're like glad we're free. Got back to the place and we're back in our room. We're like, oh man, that I guess went well. Like, all things considered, we just lost cash, none of our cameras, nothing. Going through our bags, and sure enough, they'd swiped Mike's AirPods, and they also stole my Insta360 camera with my SD card in it. Lost all my footage from the rooftop and from my Lost City trek. Absolutely devastated. It took me a long time to get over that one. Those corrupt cops. I mean, at the end of the day, I know that I was trespassing, but I was kind of willing to pay a fine at that point. It was just a little bit, it stung a little extra that they were dirty cops. And I know afterwards they didn't want to bring us into the station because that means it would just level up one more level, and then we just have to pay more money to get out from that level of cops, and those guys who arrested us wouldn't get any money or get a very little money. So I know they wanted to keep us there, so we really got done for one, but was it worth it? Was it worth going on the rooftop? Probably not. Probably not. What have I learned from this? If you hit a security guard, maybe stop right away. Although, if I did think about it, if we stopped and paid off the initial security guard to keep quiet as we went up, that might have worked. Hindsight 2020. No. In all honesty, we were just super glad that we're okay and walked away from that situation. I mean, relatively unscathed. There you have it. My situation with drunk, dirty cops in Colombia. It's maybe not a good memory, but it's a memory nonetheless. All right, hope you enjoyed it, and catch you next week when I put out a tutorial. During this time of pandemic, it's not going to be any travel videos on the channel, I'll tell you that much, but we'll have plenty of photo and video editing tutorials coming up, so I hope you're interested in those. Hope you're all staying indoors, staying safe, and staying healthy. See you next video. Bye.